What's going on, guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. It is Wednesday, May 7th. We have a 15-game MLB slate on tap for today. Real quick, a recap of yesterday. 15 games were played. The Colorado-Detroit game was rained out. In those 15 games, we went 10-5 on our over-unders. We went 12-3 on our money line / spread picks. We had the St. Louis-Pittsburgh full game parlay hit for us. That won us $35 on a dollar bet. Overall, it was a good Tuesday. But, we do not dwell on the past. We're on to the next one. And today, 15 games, tons of money to be made. Once again, guys, please do not forget our dollar parlay plays of the day. And also today, we have 2 games of the day, so stay tuned for that. All of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, our first game of the day starts off in just about 2 hours from now. We're looking at the Cleveland Guardians in Washington taking on the Nats. They played the doubleheader yesterday, and they split the games. The first game being won by the Nationals 10-9. The second game won by the Guardians 9-1. So Cleveland can put up points in this series in Washington. Today, we are looking at Cleveland to cover the 1.5 runs. The game total set at 9, and we're playing the under in this one. Under 9 total. Moving on to the hitting props, 2 total bases. We're taking Kwan of the Guardians and Ramirez of the Guardians as well to both have 2 total in this one. Moving on to the pitching props, and we only have a line for Allen, and that's all we're playing. We're taking Allen to go over 3.5 Ks for the Guardians. On after that, we got the Houston Astros in Milwaukee. Today, there will be no Altuve as well as Jordan Alvarez for the Astros. With that, we are playing Milwaukee on the money line. Game total set at 7.5. We like the over in this one. Over 7.5 total. Moving on to the hitting props. 2 total, 2 Brewers. We're taking Cheerios and Freelick to both have 2 total in this one. On to the pitching props. We're playing Valdez of the Houston Astros to go over his line, over 5.5 Ks, and we're playing Priester of the Brewers to go under his line, under 4.5 Ks in this one. All right, on to the best series for us so far these last 2 days. The Pittsburgh Pirates in St. Louis taking on the Cardinals. Both days the Cardinals were the underdogs, and we played them. I told you, this St. Louis team at home is different. With all of that being said, today, with St. Louis favored, the matchup just, in our eyes, favors the Pirates. We're playing Pittsburgh on the money line. We're taking the Road Dogs. Game total, 7.5. We're playing over 7.5 total. For our hitting props, 2 total bases, 2 Pirates. O'Neal Cruz, as well as Brian Reynolds, to both have 2 total in this one. Moving on to our pitching props, and we're saying Keller of the Pirates to go over his 4.5 line. But we're playing Sonny Gray of the Cincinnati Reds to go under his line of 6.5 strikeouts today. On after that, we got the San Francisco Giants in Chicago taking on the Cubbies. The series is split coming into today. We've called these games correct both days. We took the Cubs plus the runs. The first game, we took San Fran yesterday. And today, with the final game, we are playing the Cubbies to cover the 1.5 runs as their favorite at home in this matchup. Game total, 7. And we like the over today. Over 7 total. Then looking at our hitting props, we're taking 2 Cubbies in this one. We're taking Swanson as well as Suzuki to both have 2 total. Moving on to the pitching props. We're playing Ray of the Giants to go under his line, under 5.5 Ks. Brown of the Cubs, we're playing him to go over his line, over 5.5 strikeout. On after that, another series that split coming into today. Seattle in Sacramento taking on the Athletics. And with Seattle favored on the road in this matchup today, we're taking them to cover the 1.5 runs. The game total set at 9, and we like the under in this one, under 9 total. Looking at the hitting props, 2 Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh as well as Polanco. Onto the pitching props, and we're playing the overs for both starting pitchers here. Wu of the Mariners, over 5.5 Ks. Hogland, or whatever his name is, the Athletic starting pitcher, we're playing him to go over his line, over 3.5 K. On after that, we got the Mets in Arizona. This series is split coming into today. Arizona is favored in today's matchup with Senga on the mount. And with that, we are playing the Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line. We're taking the home dogs. Game total, 9. And we're playing the over in this one. For our hitting props, 2 total bases. They're expecting Pavin Smith to be returning today. This will be his first game back. We're taking Pavin Smith and Naylor to both have 2 total bases for the Diamondbacks. Onto the pitching props here. Senga of the Mets, we're playing him to go over his 4.5 Ks. Kelly of the Diamondbacks, we're playing him to go under his line, under 4.5 strikeouts today. On after that, we got the Dodgers in Miami. This game killed us yesterday. It went in overtime. Miami won. In today's matchup, we're playing the Dodgers, who are favored here on the road to cover the 1.5 runs. Game total, 9.5, and we like the under in this one. Under 9.5 total runs. For the hitting props, 2 total bases, 2 Dodgers. We're taking Shohei Ohtani as well as Mookie Betts to both have 2 total. Onto the pitching props, and for now, only the starting pitcher of the Miami Marlins is listed. We're playing him to go under his line. Bellizo to go under 3.5 strikeouts. On after that, we have the Texas Rangers in Boston taking on the Red Sox. The Rangers handled the Sox yesterday, a 6-1 win. Overall, a bad read on our part. In today's matchup, we're playing the Boston Red Sox on the money line. Game total, 9.5, and we're playing the under in this one. Under 9.5 total runs. For our hitting props, 2 total bases, we're taking Langford of the Texas Rangers, and we're taking Bregman of the Boston Red Sox to both have 2 total. Moving on to the pitching props, we're playing the overs for both starting pitchers. Mahil to go over 4.5 Ks, and Hokic to go over 4.5 strikeouts as well in today's match. Moving along, we have the Philadelphia Phillies in Tampa Bay taking on the Rays. Called this game correct yesterday, and we're doing the same play, just one thing different. We're playing Philly on the money line today, but we're taking the under in total runs. We're playing under 8.5 total. Moving on to the hitting props, 2 total bases, 2 Philadelphia Phillies. We're going with Harper and Schwarber to both have 2 total. Looking at our pitching props here, we're playing Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies to go over 5.5 strikeouts. We're playing Baz of the Rays to go under his line in this game today, under 5.5 strikeout. Alrighty, next game up, San Diego in New York taking on the Yankees. The series is split coming into today. We called the game right yesterday, and we're going back on it today. New York Yankees on the money line. Game total, 8, and we're playing the over in this one. Over 8 total. Looking at our hitting props, 2 total bases. We're taking Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres, Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees to both have 2 total in this one. Moving on to the pitching props, and we will be playing Daniel Cease of the Padres to go over his 5.5 strikeouts line, but we're playing Max Fried of the Yankees to go under his line, under 5.5 K. Alrighty, on after that, we have the Cincinnati Reds in Atlanta taking on the Braves. The Braves looking for the sweep here. It was a nice comeback win late yesterday for them. Today's matchup, we are taking the Cincinnati Reds on the money line. Cincinnati is favored in today's matchup also, so we're playing the favorites. Game total set at 8. We're taking the over 8 total runs. Looking at the hitting props, 2 total bases. And we're playing Ellie De La Cruz of the Red as well as Gavin Lux of the Reds to both have 2 total. Looking at our pitching props, we're playing Green of the Reds to go under his line, under 7.5 Ks. But we're taking the Braves Holmes to go over his line, over 5.5 strikeouts. On after that, we got the Baltimore Orioles in Minnesota taking on the Twins. The Twins handling the Orioles yesterday, a 9-1 win. We called that game correct. We played Minnesota plus the runs. In today's matchup, we're taking Minnesota on the money line. Game total, 9. And we're taking the under in this one. We're expecting a much closer game than yesterday. Onto our hitting props, 2 total bases. We're taking Buxton of the Minnesota Twins, and we're taking Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles to both have 2 total. Moving on to the pitching props. We're playing Morton. This will be the first time we play Morton to go over his line this season. We're playing him to go over 4.5 Ks. Richardson of the Twins, we're playing him to go under 5.5 strikeouts in this. On after that, we got the White Sox in Kansas City. Chicago trying to avoid getting swept. But we got them getting swept here. Kansas City on the money line. Game total set at 8.5, and we're playing the under in this one. Under 8.5 total. Moving on to the hitting props. 2 total bases, 2 Kansas City Royals. We're taking Furman and Waters to both have 2 total. Moving on to the pitching props. And we're playing the overs for both starting pitchers in this matchup as well. Cannon of the Chicago White Sox to go over 3.5 Ks. Watch of the Kansas City Royals over 4.5 strikeouts. On after that, we have the Detroit Tigers in Colorado taking on the Rockies. This will be our play of the game, our first game of the day. Must play. If I do recommend you put $1 on a game. In this matchup, we're taking the Detroit Tigers to cover the 1.5 runs. Game total 9.5. We're playing the over in this one, over 9.5 total. Looking at our hitting props, 2 total bases. We're taking 3 batsmen in this game. We're taking Green and Tolkerson of the Tigers, as well as Goodman of the Colorado Rockies. Onto the pitching props for today. We're playing the overs for both starting pitchers. We're playing Job of the Tigers to go over 4.5 strikeouts. Dollander of the Rockies over 4.5 Ks as well. Right, our final game of the day is also our other play of the day. The Toronto Blue Jays in Los Angeles taking on the Angels. We called this game correct yesterday. And today this will be our cheap play of the day. We're playing the Angels, who are the underdogs in this one, to cover the 1.5 runs. The Angels plus 1.5 runs. Game total set at 8.5. And we like the over in this one. Over 8.5 total. Onto the hitting props. And we like 2 Angels. Jorge Soler as well as Neto to have 2 total. Moving on to the pitching props. And we're playing the overs for both starting pitchers in this one. Kikuchi to go over 4.5 strikeouts, as well as Berrios to go over 4.5 Ks today. Alrighty guys, before we get up out of here, our $3 parlay plays of the day. And we start off with our pitching props parlay. Strikeouts. We go to the New York Mets, Senga to go over his line. Seattle Mariners starting pitcher Wu to go over his line. Chicago White Sox starting pitcher Cannon to go over his line. Los Angeles Angels starting pitcher Kikuchi to go over his line. And Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher Bass to go under his line. All 5 of those gentlemen in a dollar parlay pays $25. Moving on to the hitting props parlay. 2 total bases. We're taking Riley of the Atlanta Braves. Vlad Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays. Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ben Rice of the New York Yankees. And Carpenter of the Detroit Tigers. All 5 of those gentlemen in a dollar parlay pays $35. Finally, our home run parlay. In this one, we're taking Juan Soto of the Mets, Ellie De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds, Ben Rice of the New York Yankees. All 3 of those gentlemen in a dollar parlay pays $85. Once again, guys, I want to tell you guys, thank you for clicking on this video. Good luck to everyone today. I hope we all can make some money, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next.